All right, welcome back to the final series of the night here for the World Championship Series, European Premier League, season number 3, round of 32. That was a mouthful in itself, but we got there as we have one final game to determine who is going to advance. Is it going to be Cass or is it going to be StarDust? And we've already seen this tonight.
We've already seen this earlier on. It was the second game of the evening. StarDust is already complaining about Terran in the game lobby. But what we saw earlier on was Cass develop two strategies, or one strategy across 2 games, which was for a command center first, into a total of 5 barracks off the back of it, for a bit of pressure with his medivacs and stim, eventually into a +1 attack, +1 armor, SCV pull timing. Like MC said, it's a style that Bombers use, it's a style that Innovation used this just past weekend. It's a style that's becoming more and more out there. The one smart thing, or not smart thing, but the one good thing about what Cass did, it was executed very, very well. But now coming into this rematch, to decide who moves on to the round 16, it is either StarDust, the DreamHack Summer champion of this year, and a very consistent competitor across all the DreamHacks since then, or Cass, a player that was in the round of 32 in Season 1 and fell out into Challenge League, had to play Challenge League for Season 1 and Season 2, is now back into Premier League. But, you know, there's a DreamHack champion who went through a lot of people, and Cass is a player that just hasn't done that this year, or anything close.
Yeah,
so it really is a big difference between them. But they're fighting for one slot. Bear in mind, StarDust is in Europe. I think the Mind Senti house is in Switzerland?
Yes.
Yeah, in Switzerland. So he's playing from Europe. It's a best of 3. StarDust now knows how Cass played against him. He played against MC. StarDust has a lot of information, so I would actually give him a bit of an edge coming into this series than they would have had when they first met.
Yeah, huge amounts of intel. But now, as we have going into game number 1, spawning up to the top left-hand corner are Blue Protoss. He is My Insanity's StarDust. And down to the bottom right, we have our Red Terran representing Empire as well as the Ukraine. He is Empire Cass.
All right. It is time to find out who moves on with MC to complete the top 16. Once we complete this, I'm not sure if we ever win his interview after this, because we may do, and then straight into the groups. But I know for sure that we're definitely going into the groups.
Yes,
and we'll find out who plays who next Tuesday onwards in the round of 16. That should be pretty sick to see.
Oh, I'm very excited, especially for the lineup of players we've got. It's just not a lineup that we really expected, right, in the round of 16. So being able to see who's going to be going up against who, for example, Starbuck, I know he absolutely wants a ton of Protoss. He says he doesn't care who the Protoss is. He wants maximum Protoss in his group. So there could be that dynamic for a player who's not really been seen too much. And then players like MC and MMA in the mix as well now. I look forward to this round of 16 more so than any other, because it's just been a really unpredictable round of 32.
Yep, great season so far, and let's see what happens when we get to that group drawings earlier on. But StarDust now has scouted out Command Center first. He harassed and tickled that first SCV. In his own base, upon seeing this information, stopped and actually didn't even mind gas. So he's just going to get a faster Nexus down to compete with the faster Command Center while harassing the SCVs with his probe. So that's what he's done with this information so far.
Yeah, he's going to send that probe down to the natural and take his expansion. And meanwhile, the probe has got in here and seen the double barracks as well. So he knows that it's a normal standard play off the back of having that command center first. And this is where we look to StarDust now to see, what is he going to do? What's he going to change? Is he going to change anything?
Well, he's already sent his Zealot across the map, and there's no bunker yet. So the Zealot could be a bit of a nuisance to deal with, first of all.
Yeah, that certainly could be true. Empire Cass is going to have to micro his little heart out with these Marines that do come out, and he only has 1. So that's 1 Marine versus 1 Zealot and a probe.
Yep, and he already knows, so he has to retreat back. So the SCVs on the natural can't really mine. There's only 1 Marine. 2 and 3 are about to come out. Cass so far has got no intel. He's throwing down a bunker because he's like, oh my god, he could actually be chrono boosting out units here. But as we know, it's a faster Nexus. So sell it. Hasn't really got anything yet. Good control by Cass.
Yeah, very good control so far.
Nice. That was good.
Lost nothing. Lost nothing. And okay, so the funny thing is that Empire Cass, and against all of these Protosses, he's very rarely been actually scouting out early on. He's obviously had that Reaper follow-up sometimes to try and jump into his opponent's bases later in the game, but aside from that, he hasn't really done any scouting. If I look forward into another game, is there anything that StarDust could do against an opponent that just isn't scouting in general? Those earlier stages?
Yeah, just like MC played. You know, just aggressive with units, see if the bunker's not there or not. Kind of play a little bit reactionary, but an Immortal Bus wouldn't be the worst thing against this style. Simply because the one bunker is not that strong against it. But of course, it's a typical all-in. I don't think there's anything StarDust will try to pick up on in this game. I think he's already got a plan in mind, and he's going to stick to it. Yeah,
well, this SCV is going to try and sneak out here, and it just barely gets past that. No, it does not. Yeah, they just spot that with that Stalker. So should be able to hunt that down. There's even a probe there to try and block for a second, but not going to in the end.
And that's kind of scary to see like an SCV seeing the probe there as well. So
yeah. Has to be mindful.
But there is a Marine that snuck out, though, because he needs to know what the hell's going on. Is it a fast third again? Is it a 2-base all-in? And Cass doesn't want to have to spend his money on a scan. So his SCVs live for now. The Marine's on the other side, too. But we haven't really seen anything yet from StarDust. Just the one-gate Robo Forge.
And this Todd, Mr. First Blood, and there was that probe and SCV up to the top right, and that did die off. But Second Blood will go to this Stalker. So not too bad there. Did he see the expansion? Yeah. No, he actually didn't.
Yeah, he hasn't seen anything yet.
Huh.
His Marine died outside of range. He's still very much so in the dark, so he's going to have to scan. Scans, sees the Robotics Bay come down, and double gases and Chronobus in the Nexus. That's what he picks up there. Full scout just shows normal play. Very normal play from his opponent. So from this position, Cass is fine. He won't add in a bunker. He's going to kill his rocks next to his base.
Yep.
He adds on his 4th and 5th barracks and says, all right, game on. Game's going okay for me. And likewise, the Observer goes into the main base and says 1, 2, 3 barracks. There's a factory in Starport. Cass has been playing very reactionary to how I've been playing. And so far, it's StarDust which is calling the shots when it comes to who pulls the strategies. And I like this. This is a good start to this game.
So does Cass just go down the route once again of just going for the 3rd command center and just going for very similar timings against what he's done before? Because right now it's looking exactly the same.
Well, that's up to him, isn't it? And he may decide to do that. There's no right and wrong call here. He doesn't have to.
Yeah.
He may choose to. Like you said, the only information he's got is this is a normal game. If he wants to go for that all-in, go ahead. He can go for it. Well,
breaking down those rocks to secure his 3rd base. Double barracks get added on at the front here, and the Observer is keeping an eye on between these bases. So at least he knows that there's no 3rd command center down just yet.
He's looking. He doesn't really know where the extra barracks are. He may just glimpse it. Okay, so now he sees the 4th and 5th barracks. And so he knows exactly what's going on. He knows his opponent's killed the rock. So exactly the same build from Cass. Whereas StarDust, on the other hand, decided to get the gateways faster, didn't rush a 3rd. And look at the position of the 3rd. It's what I mentioned earlier.
Yes.
Is that against this kind of style, this 3rd is actually better here.
Yeah, it really is. Cass sending his factory over there. It's not going to get anywhere near there in time to actually deny that 3rd base. So StarDust is going to be a little better defended in this game in comparison to how he previously set it out in on Akalon Waste against StarDust. And Colossus.
Wait, +1 attack was never made.
Whoa, has he only just started it now?
No, yeah, he actually got +1 armor and was like, wait a minute, I didn't get +1 attack. A bit of a mistake there from Cass. Bit of a mistake. But, yeah, that kind of sucks, actually. But StarDust has seen everything now. He's played kind of defensive on his setup. He's getting blink down, he's getting +1 attack down. And to be honest, he shouldn't take any damage from anything here.
Yeah, he's going to pull back with this army. The Observer's keeping a good eye on it as well, and he sees the instant load up, so he knows exactly where to position his army. Well, Cass is just about to get wind that his opponent's 3rd is in that location.
I don't think these Stalkers are in the best spot. This drop's going to the main, not the 3rd. So, okay, he has Stalkers in the main as well. Never mind.
It's all good. Well, that 3rd command center is about to finish up for Cass as well. So 3rds, very, very similar times here. But again, for StarDust, dealing with that kind of SCV pull if it were to come along, because the 2nd starport is started. He's not changing, by the looks of things, what he would like to do here.
He's just thrown down the armory.
Oh, did he as well?
Just the 2nd.
Ah, okay. But he did have that in one.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
But meanwhile, I mean, it's just a single forge so far from StarDust. He's got +1 armor and +1 attack. He's not dedicating too much resources to this, and we may see a faster Twilight Council this game from him to try to deal with this kind of attack, because so far he hasn't got any extra info. His observer's been cleaned out. He doesn't know if this attack is coming or not, and he's completely in the dark to if it is or not. And that is a little bit scary from his regard, for sure. And he's deciding to get +2 armor here, which is going to benefit the Zealots a lot. But it's really unfortunate here for Cass that he does not have +1 armor. This timing is focused around having 1-1, and it's going to be really, really late. That's an extra 160 seconds when +1 attack finishes. It's really delayed.
Marine keeping an eye out for Cass at the very front of his base, but he knows pretty much what his opponent's up to.
Oh, that was a really late Thermal Lance. That was extra units rather than Thermal Lance. I actually didn't notice that.
Oh, he's got 3 Colossi. Yeah, so very, very late.
Yeah, that's kind of nice. I really like this, because he's realizing that the main attack from Cass is going to come later on. As long as Thermal Lance finishes in time, then this is fine. This is actually really good to do, because it allows you to build more units instead of wasting 200 gas on Thermal Lance if you know a real fight isn't going to happen early on. As long as Thermal Lance finishes as this comes down, this is a really, really nice from Cass. Really from StarDust.
And as long as those 2 sentries actually buy him some time here, because otherwise he's going to have to find 40 seconds out of thin air, and that's not going to come anywhere else other than those force fields. Yeah. They really need to buy that time.
Well, Stalkers need to target down good force fields. They need to target down the Vikings. He's got a lot of Stalkers to make sure he hits the Vikings here against this attack.
And he only has 7 Vikings, which is a little bit out of the norm here for this.
His build's just not as streamlined. He's supply blocked at 169, has to cool down energy. Cass literally is not executing this as well as he did before. The +1 attack missing, supply depots missing, the Viking count being lower. It's just not good. And now he's attacking into a much more defensive setup for StarDust, who stopped pro production at 60. He's getting ready to defend. +2 armor's about to complete. StarDust is in prime position to hold this.
Yeah, he really is. Cass, how is he going to make this work out? He is not hitting that supply cap as quickly as he was doing previously. He actually goes in here, blinks forwards and kills off 1 or 2 Vikings very quickly. That's going to alleviate a lot of the pressure on those Colossi
as they go for the
engagement. Yeah, he really absolutely needs to kill off more Vikings where he can, and only 1 Colossus has died thus far. That being said, there's still a lot of bio left on the floor. If he can stim up and try and snipe out some of those Colossi, will he get them? No, he will not. The Zealots reinforce for that wall and help them out considerably.
Really eager from StarDust to actually move down there, but with the units he has left over, he will hold this. Fantastic game from StarDust, much changed. And GG is called. Well done from StarDust, and a good game here to start us off with map 1 of potentially 3.
The adaptation from even not only series to series, but same map to same map was there from StarDust, and very, very quick on-the-fly reactionary moves in the space of a night means that StarDust clinches that first game and is 1 map away now from advancing on to the round of 16. And if he does, that is a lot of Korean Protoss representation.
Yes.
Which is scary, because these Korean Protosses in a live environment are going to melt some faces.
Well, we came into today with 6 Protoss already into the round of 16. If StarDust was to win this, we would go up to 8. 8 Protoss, 4 Terran, and 4 Zerg. So Protoss, like last season, still heavily represented in the World Championship Series here in Europe.
And they're doing very well for themselves. And now we jump into game number 2, as it will be Whirlwind for this map. So in terms of what Cass is doing here, does Cass... How can Cass actually bring him? Does he just play the same game again and then just hit it a bit more crisp?
That's the thing. Throughout that last game, I really tried to concentrate very much of being in both players' shoes and what they were seeing and how they were reacting. What you're saying is difficult for me to answer, because it is up to Cass at the end of the day, whether he tries to do the same. If he does try to do the same and he wants to do it, the only advice what I would say to viewers to look up on and what he needs to do better execution, no mistakes, and if he wants that styling, you really have to hit it hard. Any type of all-in, any slowness in that build and strategy hurts you. So if he wants to do the same again, he has to tighten it up, otherwise do something different.
All right, well, Whirlwind, as I said, will be our second map here. And if we need it, Belshir will be the last one. So Cass looking to try and represent Ukraine and Europe in that round of 16. Meanwhile, we have StarDust, who even, him moving on to the round of 16, after his performances at DreamHack, it would be relatively odd to see StarDust drop out in a round of 32 in a tournament like this, because even the last DreamHack, a solid performance from him. Only just barely being eked out by Elfie there at the very last second.
Yeah, I mean, that was in the round of 16. So in his DreamHack career this year was a win at DreamHack Summer, a round of 4 at DreamHack Valencia, and then round of 16 at DreamHack Bucharest. So it's a very, very good 3 events.
Crazy good.
Especially because considering Bucharest is one of the most difficult, most stacked tournaments ever. Round of 16, and we've just narrowly been edged out by Elfie. Very, very... Actually, to be honest, probably should have won that series.
Yeah.
So...
he realizes that as well after we went over for the handshake.
Yeah.
And I think Elfie may have known a little bit as well.
So he's had a good year.
He really, really has. And can he continue that on in the WCS Europe, as we do have that man spawning up to the top right-hand corner, representing My Insanity as well as Korea. He is MYA StarDust. And down to the bottom left-hand corner are Red Terran, representing Empire as well as the Ukraine. He is Empire Cass.
All right. Do you reckon StarDust goes for like a more economic opening, like Nexus first? Considering Cass always goes Command Center first every single time today.
I think he could on a map like Whirlwind. I think it's certainly on the cards. But that being said, though, with the pylon positioning, sometimes you see all of these Protoss Koreans just rally that probe out and move that probe through the little gap that they normally find themselves. But I think that definitely could happen.
Okay, we'll see. Because Cass, I'm pretty sure, is just going to go Command Center first. If he does it on every other map, he's going to do it on Whirlwind.
Oh, yeah. It's a foregone conclusion, pretty much, as he's already banking up those minerals for it. So
yeah, look at StarDust. Going to go Nexus first. Kind
Wise.
of cool. Cass has gone Command Center first every single game. There's no way for this to be punished the way that Cass is playing. So StarDust will get a bit of a leg up compared to his usual game here. This is a nice boost for him in the early game. Being able to get the Nexus down earlier means more chrono boost earlier. Being banked up means double pro production a lot earlier on. He can play. He can actually play very greedy from this.
Yeah.
Like you could even, to be honest, I know you can't do it, but he could even throw another pylon then gateway down, so he can continue pro production while building up his gateway tech afterwards. But he will throw down the gateway next.
Yeah. Super greedy that would be if he'd have gone for the pylon. You're right, but now StarDust here. It's funny because in that first series against Cass, it's almost as if he got a really big kick to the side and was just like, right now it's time to wake up, because after dealing with that 2 games in a row and being crushed by it, I mean, StarDust was not in a position where he could have held that. He certainly has woken up in this series. First game looked good, decisions were good, defensive stance was good, and now Cass has to break that somehow.
So you played a lot of Protoss in your StarCraft 2 days.
Yes, I have played a lot of Protoss.
If you were in StarDust's position right now, what are some of the best follow-ups you would use if you went Nexus first against Cass?
If I go Nexus first against Cass here...
What follow-up would you go for?
And I know he's gone for Command Center first as well.
Which we're about to find out right now, yep.
Yep, he sees that. I would like to end up going into the Robo as well as the Forge.
So 1 gate Robo and Forge again.
Yeah.
Just the same, just Nexus first.
I like that. Sometimes, though, if I have done this and I think that my Terran opponent is playing super greedy as well, I don't mind double Forge. It's made a little bit of a comeback, and we've seen it time and time again.
Okie doke.
How about yourself?
To be honest, if I was playing against Cass, I take a bit of a different approach compared to how StarDust plays. He likes to get Blink. I would actually just go straight double Forge off 1 gateway.
I like double Forge as well, man.
Just like super greedy off 1 gateway. Against Cass's style, I think it's fine. Obviously, there's a lot of different approaches to play. 1 gateway double Forge is incredibly greedy, but I think that would you would probably get away with that against Cass.
I would agree, and to reaffirm that, it doesn't really seem like Cass is ever like poking out across the middle of the map to try and force a photon overcharge at these naturals. In every single game, we haven't really seen him go for those earlier pokes with that small contingent of Bioforce. So you don't really need too much to deter that from continuing on, and that would also accentuate that double Forge play if he were to go for it.
Well, we have interestingly a second gateway coming in. That's a little bit different. So StarDust has just gone full economy. A second gateway is different here because he likes to throw down the Twilight Council, then the Robotics Bay. So I'm interested in the choice of second gateway. Obviously, he's got maybe just a little bit more minerals because he went Nexus first. He's like, hold on a minute. I actually can just throw down a second gateway anyway because I have more money than I do usually. So that may be the reason for the second gateway, because I don't see any other valid reason for it as of now. But so far in Cass's field, he has just set up exactly the same. Bunkers down. He's scanning with a Marine very, very late. He's got his 3 barracks. The factory's coming in. Engineering bay is a little bit later than the factory this time. But I'm sure it'll come down very, very soon here. They're exactly right now.
Yeah, that's on the way as the Twilight Council here for StarDust. So do you saying he goes straight to Blink for this, defend against drops, just keep yourself stable and sturdy?
Yep.
All right. So
I mean, that's his playstyle. That's how he likes to play. So he will definitely get Blink here. He's already got plus. He'll play the same just off a Nexus first here. So the only difference from the last game against Cass is that he has just a little bit of a better economy earlier on.
Yeah.
Because it was Nexus first. Everything else so far is exactly the same.
Exactly the same to the T, and I think that's that's good for StarDust, considering how game number 1 ended up panning out. He could have a bit of an easier time dealing with that.
But not an easier time on his third base like before. Because on this map, if he takes a third base where the Observer is currently, the Vikings can go in the high ground in between both of the ramps and could deal a lot of damage to the Colossus. So that must be a focus point for him. But so far, StarDust has built only a Stalker while setting up everything. So kind of greedy to a certain extent, only just now building the first Sentry and Zealot, and now Colossus. So yeah, he has played kind of greedy himself.
Yeah, he's and that's nice for Cass. I'm curious. Actually, I don't think he's really hit any supply blocks here as well. So
he's about to hit a small one, but not a big one.
Teeny tiny. Yeah, you're right.
Supply depots are halfway.
Yeah, so did curse him a little bit there, but aside from that, his macro is going to be flying still.
We may see an all-in from this.
From
StarDust, maybe.
What? Oh,
he's already got a probe on the other side of the map.
That's a lot of gateways.
He's gone up to a total of 7 gateways already. He stopped his probe production at 48. I'm pretty sure we'll see an all-in from this, or a big attack. He'll definitely want to obviously get +1 attack as well with this build. But yeah, it looks like we could go for an attack.
I mean, also there's sometimes, cases where our Protosses do end up, stopping pro production to deal with drops and stuff to get out more units. But you're right, that's a lot of gateways that he has here to actually just push big
and a lot of
pressure.
pylons too. He's already opening up his supply, so he's got a pylon on the other side of the map as well. I'm pretty sure we're going to see a lot of Stalkers come into play soon. No +1 attack though.
What provoked this? Is it the fact that he hasn't seen a thing about his opponent's
starport? No, he's just
starport.
completely decided to go for this. +1 attack is now being researched. He's just going to say, all right, let's make sure I can, target down the Vikings when they come out. He's already seen the Medivac going across. He's got Blink ready. If he was to be able to catch those Medivacs, they have stopped though.
That was very wise.
That was fortunate there for Cass.
Yeah, the Observer has moved out of location. I think maybe, oh wow, he's actually just going around the whole other side. Maybe he knew that the Observer was there.
Any damage dealt by Cass slows down this attack. It slows it down a lot. If StarDust was able to pick off the 2 Medivacs and then go attack, beautiful. But in this position, damage will be dealt, even if it's a couple of probes. The Mothership Core is not that close.
Look how far these Stalkers are out of position. This is an amazing move, an amazing read here by Cass. He's not going to do massive amounts of damage, but he did a little bit, and he really caused his opponent a little bit of a headache.
Yeah, just 3 probes, that's enough. Just something of something. But still, so far, everything is kind of pretty good for StarDust to go soon. His Stalkers have gone up to 13. His +1 attack is on the way. The Vikings are coming out 4x4 now, or they should be.
Very soon.
Because Cass is looking like he's aiming towards an all-in attack. This is interesting, so...
Some more Stalkers up on the high ground to make sure that he doesn't get that. And spots that there is no third base. So for Cass right now, this is a pretty good setup.
Blink.
Get it. He will get one of them. Second one will end up going down. Yes.
Wow. He gets it. Wow, big mistake from Cass to boost in and can't boost out.
Yeah.
Big mistake from Cass.
Tries to go into the natural as well, but no siree. Those Zealots greet that.
This attack's going to work wonders now because he's killed off so much already for so little. If Cass hadn't lost, he would have had those units to defend. Granted, there are already 5 Vikings out with 3 more coming in, but Blink Stalkers are going to do a lot. And now Cass is pressed against it. Remember, Cass is playing for elimination. Unfortunately, if he messes this up, this defense, he's out. He is out of the World Championship Series this season, and StarDust moves on. He's only just clicking. Maybe the Viking count is so high that it can work for him.
It's going to be 10 Vikings out very, very
That's
soon.
high. And he can lose
That's high.
SCVs in this attack as well, as long as he crushes it.
It's only those 2 Colossi. They're going to be the full brunt of this force.
One Viking down.
At the same time, he needs to go up that ramp and force field off behind him, because if he did, his opponent would be completely trapped out, but he doesn't fully know that.
A lot of SCVs with him. A lot of SCVs off the line to help defend against this. He realizes what's going on. It's a little bit late, but better late than never.
Completely going for it. Double time warps did slow a lot of those SCVs down from getting into the fray, but one of the Colossi will end up falling.
Great
There's
Viking
all of those
micro.
Vikings as well. Yes, still staying alive. Can kill off the second Colossus as well. The Stalker's trying to bring this home, and Cass with the bio, I think he just ends up killing this.
Well, there's another Colossus coming around, so if he can save his Stalkers and go around the other side and comes back to his Colossus, sure. He lost a lot of SCVs there. So it's not like StarDust needs to keep hammering this home. He's got +2 armor on the way. He's built sentries. He's probably just going to throw down a Nexus now after that. But that was a lot. That was a lot of death there that was caused by SCVs.
Yeah, that really was. He lost 33 workers during all of that, only retaining 30 in total. He does have the three command centers to try and replenish that back, and he will have his 3rd base economy for quite a little while. But Paul's got me going as well with his StarDust stuff from before. But StarDust can start dancing around a little bit, maybe threatening with the Stalkers, but I don't think Cass will actually allow that to happen.
No. Then he's got to pick off the Sensor Tower and then just get out.
Bye-bye.
One little pick off. So far, Cass, if you look in his vision, has seen nothing. His drops got him a bit of information, but he's seen nothing other than that. Templar Archives is about to finish up, but he doesn't really have any gas to do anything with it, which is a little bit surprising. The Nexus should come down. Not too sure what he's doing with the Templar Archives at all. But Cass obviously does have a bit of a window to do something, but he's only at 4 Vikings, and there's too many Stalkers that will protect these Colossus very easily. Zealot Charge and +2 armor are great, by the way. They really help out.
Yeah.
But there's still no second engineering bay. There's nothing from Cass. It's still the same tech, same level, same unit composition, same style.
Is it time for extra Vikings and then the SCVs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the way he's playing, yes, he needs to pull his SCVs, otherwise you don't do this. You have to pull SCVs.
Well, Zealot harassing that 3rd base and killing off a few SCVs, and in the end, 1 SCV going to war, but not working out too well for him against the Zealot.
The Viking count's just too low, though. It's only at 4. That's the biggest problem with his attack.
Yeah.
This will be a cancel from StarDust. It's fine to cancel this. Even if your opponent's on 3 bases, you can kind of tell that he's playing all-in-y. Well, he is all in. He's playing an all in. So as long as StarDust just kills these Vikings off with his Stalkers, then I can't see the Colossus being stopped. He's already at 3 and he's about to go to 4 with +2 armor as well.
This is going to be a bit of an odd situation again here, once again in WCS Europe, as we do have another Colossus on the way, being Chrono boosted out here for StarDust, and 4 Colossi against 7 Vikings. These Vikings, I mean, it's an all right number. Once those extra 4 join, then maybe, you know, he'll actually be able to do some damage to that. Yeah. But right now, it's not enough at that front force.
And the Colossus, I mean, the +3 attack coming in for the Zealots, the big problem for Cass is that the Zealots are going to charge in, right? Which means that the Zealots will be doing every damage they can to the Marine Marauders, who will want to kite back.
Yep.
But that now means the Stalkers will have free reign on the Vikings. You see how that works together?
Yeah.
Because the Stalkers, we had to target down the Vikings with no problem. They won't get picked off by anything, because all the Zealots are chasing down the Marauders and Marines, and obviously they don't want to just stand there and take the damage from the Zealots. They will kite back. So beautiful mix-up of units here from StarDust, a mix-up of abilities, and this makes his attack very, very strong, or at least his play strong. And now with the 3rd base, Storm, +3 armor on the way, High Templar being built, I don't think he really wants to commit to an attack. He's just like puffing out his feathers a little bit and moving forward. Yeah. But ideally, he just wants to poke around, have a look. Is there a 4th? What's the unit type like? Is he still on the same? Does he have any new upgrades on his army? If not, let's just go back, play +3 armor, get Storm, and then kill him when +3 armor's done.
Yeah, this is, I don't think, even, you know, with this just rough, puffing up of the feathers, it would be so hard for him to take an engagement right now. 146 army supply against 116. That's a big, big difference here, as Cass has kept on top of his macro and done really well with that. But StarDust, he's catching up. The race is certainly not over, as StarDust is coming up the rear and going to be able to do a lot once he actually maxes out.
Even though Cass has got a big army, I still favor, and I would every day be StarDust here. Every day. +3 armor, Zealots, against just 1/1. Storm is now done, and he has 4 High Templar.
Yeah, that's a lot. That certainly is a lot. He's going to go for the engagement. He has a lot of Vikings here. 16 in total on the field. Only the 12 here, I believe, though, as the High Templar is going to spread themselves out a little bit to try and get a flank on this army. That army's very, very clumped
Oh,
up.
these storms. Oh my god,
Very
these storms.
clumped up.
Ah!
Oh, very, very clumped up.
No!
Massive,
10
massive damage happens to that bio, and StarDust takes a significant supply lead.
Oh, that's just game over. You can't take that much like that.
So clumped up.
Oh, Cass, that's game. That's game. Oh.
Those storms. Those storms.
Oh, StarDust just walks across the map and kills him. There's nothing.
You know that? You know when you watch a game and you actually feel it in your body? That's the kind of feeling I had right there. That was
After such a tense back and forth, after that hold, after just staying alive.
Oh dear.
To this. Oh, this is. Oh my gosh.
Oh, Cass. Well, he's trying to go for the third base as well, but his third base is getting plummeted into the ground, and there you go. GG. StarDust.
That must be so upsetting for Cass. I know StarDust is through, but Cass tweeted earlier on today, like, this is my big day. This is it. Because a lot of these players, of course, they know weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks before they have to play. And then finally the day comes, they wake up in the morning, it's like, this is the day that I advance through my group. But unfortunately not, and StarDust moves through instead.
After that reaction, I'm kind of worried about what Cass's next tweet's going to be.
Oh,
but
man. That's a little bit sad. That's a disgusting way to lose, unfortunately.
Ouch.
And, well, StarDust moves through. Congratulations to him. It's two Protoss players, MC and StarDust, make their way through. StarDust, the DreamHack Summer Champion, has now finally got what he wants. He'll be coming to the live show, be playing live, just like MC.
He certainly will be, so those two Protoss are advancing through. And that means our round of 16 is complete, finito. It is done, as we have some pretty awesome players along the line. We have MMA, MC, StarDust, the reigning champion Duck Duck. And we're going to find out very soon which groups they're going to be in.
That's right. That's going to be the most entertaining part for a lot of people. I love looking at how the groups shape up. So we'll be going to that very shortly. So don't go anywhere, because we will go to the groups and we'll announce them and sort them out and have a look who plays who. It's going to be great.
It's going to be awesome. So guys, stick around after the commercial break. More WCS festivities on the way.
Pure precision with a true 8200 DPI Pro Aim laser sensor. Get pure speed with a 32-bit turbo core V2 processor. Get pure command power with the easy shift button duplicator. Get pure atmosphere with a 16.8 million color lighting system. Rocket Cone Pure.